Yo, 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 yo. It's your boy Kev, man, back with the All Facts, No Slack Saints podcast. And I know it's been a minute since I put out that first video, but now we're going to be able to start pushing out more content, dog, and being able to focus up, concentrate more on this. And the regular season is coming along the way, and training camp is going about. Man, it's just about time to be able to, to start pushing out that content. So, just straight to it, man. Name of this episode is How I Became a Saints Fan. Why I'm a Saints fan. Straight up from New Orleans, right? Like, it's almost like a given. It's almost like a given, but it's not. Because there's people from New Orleans who aren't Saints fans. So, just giving the reason why I'm a Saints fan. Not only just because I'm from New Orleans, but I have my own story on how I connect to the team. So pretty much the way it kind of goes with everybody, right? When you're young, you're going to go with your parents, uncles, family members, cousins, whatever it may be, whoever introduces you to sports. That's and that's who you're going to learn with. That's who you kind of pretty much are going to go with if you get introduced at a young age. And then once you get old enough, if you're still into that sport or whatever like that, then you kind of start to form an identity of like, do I still want to be with this team? Do I, is this still my team or whatever? So, I think that's important. Even if you're from a certain city, even if you're from a certain area, I feel like there needs to be a point of time, even if you're introduced to that team, to that franchise, to whatever, from a family member or whatever, I think there needs to be a point of time to where you can say, this is where I own it now. This is when it's my team now. This is when, I'm starting to hurt. Or this is when I'm really starting to feel good. Or your personal connection to the team other than, you just, this is what they showed me, right? So pretty much, when I was younger, I grew up in my early years in New Orleans in the Fifth Ward and Pontchartrain Park area. You know what I'm saying? Lived in the Fifth Ward till like I was around kindergarten maybe, first grade. Yeah, I think I stayed around kindergarten. Then we moved in the Pontchartrain Park, Gentilly area. Met a lot of my childhood friends over there. Used to play outside. Used to do little boy shit. You know what I'm saying? Play in the street, basketball, football, all that type of shit, right? So, like, that was the extent of how much I like sports. I liked it to play enough to go outside and play with my friends and stuff, but, I wasn't big into it. You know what I'm saying? I did park ball, park baseball, park basketball, stuff like that. But, wasn't as big as it into it as my friends because they was like playing park football and shit like that, right? But I still liked it. But if anybody know me, I was big into video games. I like video games and stuff a lot when I was younger. Which again, I still like going outside and play the sports and stuff, but like didn't like it enough to be like, to do the organized part a long time. You feel me? So I mainly was a music guy. I marched in the band from middle school to college. But as I digress, I mainly was into video games. And my favorite sports game, period, in life is NFL Street, NBA Street. I played live, I played Madden, I like those games, but when it came down to like sports games, NBA Street, NFL Street was my favorite, still my favorite to this day. I really hope in some point in time, they really remake those games. Anyway, so my earliest depiction of the Saints at that time and that I can go back to remember was Ricky Williams and freaking Mike Ditka on the cover of that magazine in that fucking wedding dress. Them getting married. That's like my first image I can really remember of seeing like with the Saints, right? So if anybody remembers the cover of NFL Street, Ricky Williams was on the cover, but it was for the Dolphins. So I remember, man, that's old boy who was in the wedding dress and stuff for us, you know what I mean? And so it kind of clicked. I'm like, man, I'm playing this game, and everything around town's black and gold, who that and stuff. And I'm like, let me play with the team here. And playing NFL Street, the first game, that's how I learned the roster. Deuce McAllister, Aaron Brooks, Dante Stallworth, Joe Horn, Jerome Payton, Jonathan Sullivan. They had a lot of those guys. Fred Thomas. They had pretty much it's like 7-on-7, on that game, and that's how I pretty much learned the roster. It was from NFL Street. I think I said Deuce McAllister. Deuce McAllister too. He was actually one of my first favorite players. They were so fun to play on that game. I remember like in the early years, like we were really bad. I saw, it was like rough seasons and stuff like that. But around that time, I kind of grew up when I was able to really start watching and understand it was like during the Jim Haslett era, right? So we were decent, but it was just coming from like them real dark, bad days. So, man, I'm learning about the team through NFL Street. I actually went to school. One of another earlier members I remember of the team was the beer man, Michael Lewis. I went to school with his daughter. I remember she was like bad, right? So like he always used to have to come to the school. So I always remember seeing the beer man come to the school and used to see him and stuff, So anyway, as I digress, NFL Street, again, like players like Michael Lewis coming to the school, remembering Ricky Williams in that damn dress and shit like that. And those are like my little kind of like personal connections to the team, how I learned the team with my first early memories of the team. And then Hurricane Katrina happens, right? And I remember because we stayed, like, I was a teenager. I was like 14 years old when it happened, right? It was me, my mom, my little brother, my aunt, my little cousins. We all pretty much got rescued off our roof. They brought us to UNO Lakefront Arena. And from UNO Lakefront Arena, they took us on to the I-10. From the I-10, there was a whole bunch of buses lined up. And through those buses, they just said, get on the buses. And there was like really no direction where we were going. Just so your whole family get there and go there, right? Bam. The bus we got on took us to the Astrodome in Houston. Took us to Houston, Texas. And lo and behold, who do I see there? There was a lot of people helping us and stuff over there, so that was a good thing. But out of everybody who I remember seeing there, Joe Horn. Joe Horn was there helping people from New Orleans get directed to their families, get clothes, get stuff, just helping them get situated. And I was like, damn, man, I know him off the game. That's one of the Saints players. So this is like where my personal connection, another part of a personal connection. Again, connecting the dots. Remember seeing Ricky Williams and Mike Dicker on that damn Sports Illustrated. NFL Street, you know what I'm saying? That's how I learned the players on the team. And now I'm actually meeting one of the players, helping us to, get organized and find our families in this time of need. So I'm like, man, this is my deep connection. I'm like, man, this is pretty damn cool. So, we all know that season was rough, man. That was like, I can't even remember the record. I have to go back and look, but I think we may have been 2-14 or 3-13 or something like that. It was a real bad year. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, a storm happened and it was a lot of bad shit. But as I digress, the very next year later, after Katrina, did my freshman year in Houston, and we went back to New Orleans for my sophomore year, right? And I had a stepdad that my mom had met at the time, and he was big into football. And so as I'm watching, I'm learning about more of the game through him, watching the Saints, learning the history, and, just building my love for the team through that way. And go to college at Southern University in Baton Rouge was pretty much my first time being in a situation where it was a bunch of people who weren't Saints fans. Well, not a whole bunch, because when you're in the band at Southern, it's like, it's a mixed crowd. It's people from Louisiana, people from Texas, people from Georgia, people from Florida. We even had a couple people from Washington. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't just all Saints. So that was my first time really being in a situation where I had to really rep hard because not everybody Saints fans. So that was really a time, and it's so funny. That year I went to Southern in college was the let me see, yeah, was the year of the Super Bowl. Yeah, that was the year of the Super Bowl because I graduated in 09 and we won the Super Bowl 09, 2010 year. Yeah, my freshman year at college at Southern was the pretty much the year we won the Super Bowl. So it was crazy watching that team and able to actually go hard against some people who didn't like the Saints, who were fans of other teams. So, and just watching them win that Super Bowl that magical year and things like that. But pretty much that's kind of like my story on how I became a Saints fan, why I'm a Saints fan. And I encourage anybody who watches this video in the comment section, man, tell your story on why you became a Saints fan. If it's just you're from New Orleans, or if you're not from New Orleans and you started liking the team, you got family from there. And everybody has this story. I feel like everybody needs to have this story other than this is just where I grew up. This is my parents just showed me. I think everybody needs to have their moment in time to say, this is when it became my team. This is what my connection to the team. So, again, we're going to be coming out with some more content talking about what's going on in training camp, what's happening, what players I'm liking, and stuff that's just going all around the Saints right now, and more content to come soon. Like and subscribe to the channel, man. It's all facts, no slacks. Who that? Let's go.